Hey everybody, Bill and Deb.
Hi there.
We always start off our videos like that. Hey everybody, Bill and Deb.
I know. Maybe we need a
Yeah.
new entry. Intro.
Well, I know. At least this way we get right to the subject
To the subject.
of the video rather than, rolling the big intro,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So anyway, this is the day before Thanksgiving, and right at the onset, we do want to say we hope everybody is
Yes.
going to have a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend.
Yes.
A perfect
Yes.
time to get with families and friends, and
And I'm not with my family this year.
no, we're
Our
not.
family.
Well, we're with another extended family.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But not with my children.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's kind of sad for me, actually.
But we had our get-togethers, before we left. So that's a whole nother story.
Yes.
And another thing too, we hope you're enjoying all of the walkthrough videos that we've been doing, and I want to reemphasize that we have a lot to go. There's still probably for the next 2 months.
Yeah,
probably.
I was thinking 6
Yeah.
to 8 weeks.
Yeah, somewhere in that ballpark. So you'll be seeing more walkthrough videos as we go. And I guess the next thing, let's get out of the way right quick. Deb's been working on some paintings. This is one that she just wrapped up here recently. Right here. And this is one you're working on now. Hopefully,
Yeah.
Is it wet?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I was hoping I could show it a little bit better. I'll let you do that.
If you reach up here by the sky,
Well,
the sky's dry.
You can do it. Okay, the sky is dry. Unlike the sky we had last night.
Yeah, it rained last night, but
Yeah. And that's one reason why we're, again, inside, is because, the sun peeks out now and then down here in Florida today, but it could rain most any time. So,
yeah, the sky looks like it could just crack
Yeah,
open. It's not
sometimes.
supposed to, but
who knows?
who knows?
Because we're finding that we're going to rename AccuWeather to InAccuWeather.
Well, we've had that discussion before as
Oh yeah,
well.
but anyway, on to the subject. We get comments now and then that sometimes we find interesting. Sometimes we find these comments rude. But hey, that's part of being YouTubers, right?
Yeah, well, and part of this, it's stuff we may have discussed in other videos.
Exactly.
But I'm sorry.
That's okay. Don't get all choked up over it, dear.
But we just thought it would be something to
Right.
discuss again.
Yeah, and of course here again, and we appreciate this too. Let me mention this right quick, and then we'll get started. Since the rendezvous, which is now been about a month ago or so.
A little over
yeah.
a month, slightly.
Well, actually, today is the 21st.
22nd.
22nd. Okay. Today is November the 22nd, 2023. By the way, so it's been just a couple of days. Beyond a month since
Right.
the rendezvous was over.
Right.
We've gained well over 1,000 subscribers during that time.
And we are
And-
making decisions on the next rendezvous.
Yeah, we are making decisions, and we will be
So stay
announcing
tuned.
that shortly. It won't be that long. All right, now that we got all that out of the way, we had a question, and I'm trying to remember. I think it was on the video we did about don't let negative YouTubers discourage you from pursuing this lifestyle if this is what you want to do. That kind of thing. I can't remember exactly how the title was. But anyway, this was a question that was posed by one of our viewers. He says, I watch all your videos and hope to full-time camp in the future when we retire. My question is, why did you go with building your own? And we've had that question a lot, and we've had addressed this in the past. He says, I know you said here that it was partly because traditional campers are poor quality, and I realize you can build just what you want, but there are 1,000 different models to choose from, and used, they are not real expensive. So I just wonder if there are other reasons. Do you feel the others are too high off the ground? Are they too heavy, too tall, too expensive? Too much to insure. Thanks. And you all just keep on living. So let's address these questions. And I guess the best way to start off is and very few people know this, except for those that's been with us for a long, long time, because we told this, we've given this experience before, but our first attempt at this was with a regular, almost dropped my glasses, was with a regular RV. Remember that, dear?
Absolutely. I remember that very well. We were so excited.
Oh man, were we excited. We found this, we decided we wanted to try a motorhome. So we found this 1989 Winnebago 27-foot motorhome. And we were just so excited. Of course, let me say this right out of the chute. We knew nothing.
No. We knew nothing.
Didn't know what to look for
or anything. We just knew that we were ready to travel.
Right.
And we knew this was the only way we could do it, so we knew nothing.
Yeah. And when I stepped into the motorhome and we could buy it, we ended up buying that thing for like $4,500, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yeah. And it only had 68,000 miles on it. And since I'm a Chevy guy, it had a Chevrolet Big Block 454 in it. Had the Turbo 400 automatic transmission behind it, which, you know, that particular drivetrain is pretty tough. So I was real excited about that. Plus, it was something.
And the outside wasn't bad. It was in old-fashioned colors.
Right,
and the inside was in old-fashioned colors.
Yeah,
but we knew we could deal with the inside colors.
In fact, when we had our issue, which made us drop back and punt, we were in the process of repainting the exterior and going with some nostalgia colors, some nostalgia trim and stuff like that. And I'm sure you're seeing some photos of it now anyway. And so we were so excited. And I remember when we first walked in, though, there at the kitchen sink, you could see where there had been a leak at one time.
The wallpaper was wrinkly.
Yeah, and the countertop was bubbly back in the inside corner. Just a little bitty spot.
Yeah, wasn't very big.
Yeah, about that big, you know. And I mentioned it, and he said, oh, yeah, we realized there was a leak, but we fixed it. It's not leaking anymore.
Right. Famous last words.
Let me tell you something, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty a little bit more here in a little bit. But this was one of the first things we discovered. Now, we did not do any mechanical work on this at all. We did mostly everything cosmetic. Most everything was cosmetic, as far as putting a new ceiling in, you know, and trying to make it look more modern, you know, to our taste and stuff like that, and trying to go with the nostalgia colors, which at that time we were doing the teal tones.
I was doing actually Mardi Gras colors, purple and teal. And
that's right, you were. So anyway, let me tell you something. You've ever heard the expression, if you see one roach in your house, that means you've got 10,000? You ever heard that expression?
Oh.
If you walk into a used RV, and I'm just telling you this from experience, folks, if you see one little spot where there's been a leak, where it's been bubbly, that ain't the only damage.
No.
So what we started doing, we thought, well, okay, we can repair that. So we,
no biggie.
Yeah. So, and we also noticed that there was a little bubbly at a little vanity back in the bedroom, which wasn't very far from the kitchen countertop. So we started digging into that, and first I thought, well, I'll just take this little corner vanity thing out. We don't want to use it anyway.
No,
well, when I took it out, I found all kinds of water damage behind it in the wall. So I thought, okay, I'll just peel back this one little piece of paneling and we'll replace this one little piece of paneling. I peeled it back.
Anyway, long story short.
Long story short, we ended up peeling the entire wall all the way down one side. And guess what? We still had a leak. Yes. We still had to climb up on top of it and seal leaks.
Leaks.
My first thing to tell you, if you're looking at a used RV, whether it be a travel trailer or a motorhome, if you see one little bitty place where it's been leaking at one time, and they say, "Oh, the leaks have been fixed," when I see that on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, had a leak, but we fixed it. I go, okay. That's kind of like the one that says, you know, cars for sale. It's a good work car, needs a new motor, you know, that kind of thing.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. So, just remember the roach story, okay? Remember that comparison that I made there on that. Then the next thing that we noticed when we started replacing, we found other places where things were rotted out everywhere. And keep in mind, and I think they still do that to this day, they use an awful lot of particle board back then, and I know a lot of them still use particle board today, especially your lesser expensive RVs. The the particle board, once it gets a little damp, it just simply disintegrates.
Yeah, I'm surprised the refrigerator hadn't fallen
Yeah,
out.
yeah. We ended up pulling the fridge out, and
We were going to replace it anyway.
And in this, it was a typical kind, you know, where you had the refrigerator on the sidewall, and then directly below the refrigerator is where the panel was, where the power panel was, you know. And of course, it had the combo unit, which also was your AC, handled your AC circuits as well as your DC circuits as well. Well, when we took the fridge out, we know that it was the floor was crumbling because it was particle board. That fridge was setting on particle board. And I wish we would have taken photos of this stuff when we were doing this, but we didn't know about documenting this kind of stuff back then like we do now. But when we pulled the refrigerator out the floor, I just barely tapped it, and it just went like that, and that was it. But what I also was able to see when I did that, in fact, we since removed all of those videos because we were going to quit YouTube. But I mentioned...
We were going to quit YouTube, and we were going to quit RV.
Yeah, but I mentioned that when I saw the wiring, it was absolutely frightening. And yes, it was. It was absolutely frightening.
Well, it looked like they had taken all the wires and just wadded them up and threw them in the floor.
No uniformity whatsoever. Just a big old spaghetti of wires coming in, and you didn't know what went to where or anything.
And we knew that was wrong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I knew that was wrong. And I did have one bad receptacle back in the bedroom, so I went to replace it. And when I popped it out and saw what they use for receptacles, what they supposedly call
only about
receptacles.
That deep.
Yeah. You know, the box that it was mounted in was very shallow. But then the receptacles they use are kind of a friction wire thing where you pop the wires in, and then they have little teeth in there that kind of dig into the wires, you know, and go through the insulation on the wires and clamp to the wiring itself. And it's cheap junk. It's just purity old cheap junk. It's just asking for an issue, asking for a problem. So yeah, those were the initial things that we saw. Now, to move on down the road, we were in it one night. I woke up at 1:30 in the morning, and I smelled something funny.
And we'd been in it for about 6 weeks at that point.
Yeah, we had. I smelled something funny, and I came real close to just rolling over and going back to sleep. But I didn't. I got up and started looking around. And when I walked into the living room area, and I looked back toward the back, and anyway, I ended up getting Deb up. She asked me why I was up, and I told her, I said, I smell something funny. I got to figure it out. So we looked back toward the bedroom. We were both in the living room, and it was starting to really get kind of smoky looking in the bedroom. So I thought, well, maybe, because we had a little basement storage area underneath the bedroom in the back, and I thought, well, maybe there's something going on there.
And that's where our propane tank was, and our hot water heater.
And we had just had the propane tank filled.
Yes. And so it was concerning. We need to go. So he ran out to check that.
Well, so while I was out there with a flashlight, opening up that and checking it out underneath there, all of a sudden she yelled, I found it. And then I said, what is it? And she said, it's a fire. And it turned out that when I ran back into the motorhome, the closet was engulfed in flames on my side of the bed. And so I was running to the sink with a Dutch oven pan, filling it with water, running back to it and throwing it on the fire. And Deb had the wherewithal to go outside. She ran outside, unhooked the water hose, the city water hose from the motorhome, and she said, here's the hose. And we had the window open, so I just I didn't take time to try to get the screen off. I just went ahead and just rammed my fist through the screen and knocked a hole in it and grabbed the hose, and we doused it and finally got the fire out. Well, the insurance company totaled it. I mean, it was... and
it scared us enough. We were done.
Oh, yeah, we were done.
I mean, the insurance company said, well, you could probably buy it back.
Yeah, we probably could have bought it back for next to nothing.
And Bill asked me, do you want to do that? And I said, no, I'm done.
Yeah. So, and what happened? Here's what had happened. In that Winnebago, which I know these things now. Now, I don't know how they do it today in the newer ones, but back then, they would run extra DC circuits and then just coil the wires up in cavities. you know, in case you wanted to add something later, like maybe lights or maybe a 12-volt ceiling fan or something like that. But they would have these extra DC circuits ran throughout. And there was probably about 3 of them or so in that thing for different accessories that a person might want to add.
We knew nothing about that.
But we knew nothing. We figured this out after the fact. Well, theoretically, there should have never been any fuses in those particular circuits that went nowhere. But there were. And of course, those fuses were obviously put in there by previous owners that didn't know either. So they just went ahead and stuck a fuse in every single hole.
Yeah, every hole needs a fuse.
And right? You would think, okay. And all we could figure was that maybe a rodent or something had got in there, chewed on the wires, and, you know, somehow got the positive and the negative.
They didn't have ends on them.
Huh? No, they didn't have ends on them either.
Laying there.
Right. They were just cut off.
So it didn't matter.
No end caps on them. But you're not supposed to have fuses in those circuits anyway to make them live. So, but the fuse did not blow. No. And it was only like a 15 amp fuse, but it did not blow. I found the bad fuse and I had to pull it out with a pair of needle nose pliers. The plastic was melted all around the fuse, and these are those automotive type fuses, you know, the blade fuses, automotive type blade fuses. And I had to pull them out with a pair of needle nose pliers, but the plastic housing was completely melted all around it, but the little part that's supposed to burn in two was not. And I was speaking to my mechanic, the guy that does all the work on my vehicles, and told him, you know, what had happened. And he said, well, we did have a period there for a while where these automotive fuses, there was a bad batch or something, because he was familiar with it, and he said they would not blow. You know, he said they were supposed to, but they didn't. So anyway, that's what happened there. But when we dug into this thing, you know, and we saw all this, that's the thing that scared us more than anything else about buying an RV.
Ready built one.
Yeah.
We did go back and look after a few
months. Yeah.
And it was like...
Right, yeah. So that's when we decided, though later, after we got calmed down and everything, we decided to build the red trailer, the first trailer, which was the 7x16 that we built. And then, of course, we sold that, and then we built this. Now, to back up what we're saying, we just watched a video this morning. I'm not going to mention the name of the channel. Some of you may know who they are, but it's a young couple. We've been kind of following them off and on since the onset. And now they have a 2-year-old child. And they started out with a little school bus, and their specialty was special coffees and things like that. But they built out their own bus. Well, they ended up buying property in Panama, moved to Panama. They're home, you know, I'm say homesteading, but they're building a life there in Panama. But they came back to the States to travel all 48 states in 48 days. Yeah. And they're starting to wrap it up. And what they did when they came back here, they bought, I'm assuming, I haven't watched all the videos to this point, but they were towing an Airstream. And I probably shouldn't have said that.
No, we weren't going to mention the name.
Well, anyway, they bought this new RV. and of course, the name of this RV is synonymous with quality, you know. And this latest video that they just put out, they started talking about the RV. And wiring was one of the first things he talked about.
He mentioned that, and
it was deja vu all over again. It sounded just like the issue that we had with our Winnebago that was built way back in 1989. You know,
he mentioned that they had put 10,000 miles on it.
In 48
days.
44, 45 days by then. Whatever. Yeah.
And so that's what we thought. Was this a brand new one?
Yeah. We don't know if it's a new one or not, because we haven't been following them that close since. We just happened to catch this video this morning, right? Yeah. So, so evidently, those issues are still there. Now, buy a used one, and I have considered that. We have considered that before. But here's what we would do if we were to ever buy a used one. The first thing we would do, we would inspect it up and down, forwards and backwards, inside and out, to make sure we see no signs of leaks anywhere. And quite honestly,
still probably gut it.
Quite honestly, there's going to be leaks, folks. It's just a fact of life. Okay. The next thing we would do if we were to buy one, we would totally gut it anyway, all the way down to just the bare walls
Outside
on the
walls.
outside, and that's it.
We'd re-insulate
Yeah.
it. We'd do the whole bit anyway.
Yes, redo the whole thing, run all of our own wiring and everything
Because we're paranoid.
yes, I don't want to. I don't want to become a burnt marshmallow.
No, that's not our goal in life. That would kind of hinder our travel.
But so that's the thing. Now, as far as being too tall, too high off the ground, we like the fact that our trailer sits higher off the ground. Now, keep in mind with our trailer that we have now, this 8.5 by 20, we had it spec built at the manufacturer, and people keep forgetting that you can actually have this done. You don't have to just go to a cargo trailer dealer and buy whatever they got on the lot. We had this thing spec built for the purpose of building our design inside it.
Right.
We have 2 RV side doors. We eliminated the ramp in the back because we were going to put our bathroom in the very back, is what we were going to do. We learned from experience that straight axles, in our case, because of the places we go, straight axles, which makes the trailer sit higher up off the ground, which we wanted, is better for us because we go to different campgrounds that sometimes the pad will be like this or like this. And, you know, if your trailer sets too low to the ground, you literally have to raise it up somehow by building ramps with Camco Lego blocks, which we had to do with the red trailer a lot because it had to drop axles.
Because of our drain.
And because of drains
drain
too.
Into the Blue Boys.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
you had to have it up higher.
No, we don't worry about the trailer setting too high off the ground as far as those. And a lot of manufacturers now that are still, that are building RV, you know, travel trailers, they are starting to build them up higher off the ground than they used to. So we do appreciate that part. And that's why we had this one done that way. We did a video a while back. It's been probably, you know, time gets away from me. It's probably been 1.5 years ago, where we compared an RV that we almost bought, compared it to this that we built instead. And price-wise, we ended up with about the same amount of money invested in this as we would have if we would have bought the other. Of course, we have things that the other one would not have had. We have double the gray tank capacity, double the freshwater capacity. We have
bigger battery bank.
We have a huge battery bank. You know, we can go 2 days totally unplugged and run everything. We have a mini split rather than the standard overhead RV style air conditioner. We have 4 200-watt panels on top of the trailer, and of course that one didn't have any. And we intend to do more on top eventually.
And we have a bigger shower.
And we have a much bigger shower and a better shower. One of the things that we did before we actually placed the order to have this one built, spec built to our specifications to do our particular design, one thing we did, we went down to the local RV dealer where we were at the time and looked at this very same model that we were considering purchasing. One more time. And of course, the first thing I did, I walked in there and I started tapping on the partition walls, you know, and they go bang, 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 you know, sound like a drum where the top needs to be retightened on the drum, you know, echoing like crazy, you know, and just, you know, and you're wondering, okay, how secure is this wall actually attached here? That, of course, turned me off immediately. But one of the things that I did that made me make my decision quicker than anything else was, now I'm a big guy. At that time, I weighed quite a bit more than I do now. Why did you smile like that?
I didn't smile.
Yeah, you did too. I did. I weighed 35 pounds more.
Move on.
Anyway, I walked back into the bathroom. Now, it had a decent-sized shower, this one. Walked into the bathroom. I stepped on the shower pan. And it started flexing and popping and cracking like crazy.
It was like that would drive us crazy.
Yeah. Well, who knows?
Plus, it would break, you know.
Yeah, it's going to eventually crack with me on it, you know, or a large person like me.
And as we know, bouncing down the road and things is a moving earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
Well, we have lots of friends that have RVs.
Absolutely.
Lots of friends. And every single one of them will tell us.
They talk about replacing screws, doing this, doing that, figuring out if something fails, where on earth is that something. One person had to replace a water pump. they had to crawl way back in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our water pump's right there.
And had to be ambidextrous, you know, in order to get to it to unscrew the water pump out and put the new one in. I think what happened was when they built that particular RV that we were talking about, I think someone was just standing there holding the water pump, and then
they built the trailer
around it.
But
you know, they don't build these things with serviceability in mind. I'm sorry. There, I said it. They don't.
well, we know that eventually things are going to fail. That's the nature of anything.
We put a new water pump in this one. But when we did it, it took me 20 minutes. And the other one was still working.
Right.
It was working okay. And it was a well-known brand. But this other company reached out to us and let us let us choose from different items in their line. And we decided we wanted to try one of their freshwater pumps. And we did, and we love it. Absolutely love it.
Much quieter.
It's much quieter than the other one was. The other one would go, This one does not. It holds good, steady pressure. And we're just tickled to death with it.
In fact, it's better pressure lots of times than when we're actually hooked up to the city.
Yeah, in fact, sometimes we prefer to use our freshwater tank over that because of that.
Okay, we're getting distracted.
I'm sorry. But anyway.
I'm trying, people.
Let me see. Do you feel the others are too high off the ground? No, we've talked about that. Too heavy. Well, let's talk about weights for a minute. Yeah, that one, what we were looking at, it weighed in right around 5,000 pounds.
Yeah, we discussed that when we were discussing
right,
weights.
and when we discussed that here a while back.
That was basically just the travel trailer.
Yes, yeah.
It wasn't all of our personal stuff.
So don't let that. When you watch these, there's this one guy that likes to get on there, and I remember he used to an RV dealer, and he would go in. One of the first things he would do is walk in and start banging on the cabinets to show you that they're made out of real wood and stuff like this, you know. And then, of course, they would talk about on the ones that had the bed oriented in the front of the trailer, they would open up and say, look at all this storage under these baggage areas underneath the trailer. Oh, by the way, this trailer only weighs 5,000 pounds, and you only have 490 pounds of tongue weight. Okay? Yeah. All right.
Not once I get through.
Not once. The novice gets through, because these things are cavernous, you know, this storage area underneath the bed at the front of the trailer. My goodness, you can take that 490 pounds of tongue weight and turn it into 1,000 pounds or more of tongue weight pretty darn quick, you know. And when they say it only weighs 5,000 pounds, yeah, that's before you put your clothes in it,
and your
groceries, you know,
everything
pots and pans, all these things that you need, whether you're going camping or if you're going full time. So now that we've got that out of the way, our trailer, in the end, because we've had it weighed, we know exactly what it weighs. And keep in mind, this is in travel mode, because everything we own, we carry either in this trailer or in our van. This trailer, with our 10 cubic foot residential fridge full of groceries, our appliances, our real queen, a 12-inch queen mattress, regular household queen mattress in here, which it weighs a good amount.
Yeah, it's getting heavier all the
time. All these little things. Ours weighs in travel mode, I should say in living mode.
Living mode.
Because we're not camping, we're living. Mm-hmm. In living mode, this trailer weighs 7,500 pounds. Okay. You'll easily make that other trailer go to close to that before it's all said and done.
Yeah.
You know.
Because Bill just helped me do laundry yesterday, and he had to tote the 2 weeks worth of laundry, which we carry with us, whether it's clean or dirty.
We carry enough clothing to go at least 2 weeks or longer before we have to go to the laundromat.
Big containers probably weigh 35, 40 pounds each, and
so
I have two of them.
We easily carry 100 to 150 pounds of clothes.
Yeah.
You know, and people don't think about that kind of stuff. You know,
clothes don't weigh that much.
Right. So this is the point. Now, keep in mind, too, this trailer, when we took it off of the lot before we ever started our build, it weighed 3,400 pounds. Just the cargo trailer itself weighed 3,400 pounds. Then you've got these others that weigh 5,000 pounds, you know, that compared to this, size-wise and everything else. So, yeah, ours is probably going to end up being a little bit heavier than the other. I'm sure it does. But you know what? Of course, we did our own build out on the inside. Everything is still where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, we haven't replaced any screws.
We haven't had to tighten one single screw, everybody.
Well, the door latch. But we didn't build that.
No. The door latch?
Yeah, I just tightened the screws on the...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but we didn't build that.
That's the only thing I've done, not anything we built.
Remember, that's a regular RV door. It's got the word RV in front of it.
I had to do that a few times.
So, you know, yeah. But the biggest thing is we were so paranoid we didn't want to have, we didn't want to wake up smelling smoke again.
We're still paranoid.
Oh, we're still very careful when it comes to that. We check all of our connections, especially at our battery bank and things like that, periodically, just to make sure that nothing has gotten loose and no kind of sparks are going or anything like that. We've got a fairly large battery bank in here, so there are things that you do, which is what you have to do. But I don't know what I'm trying to say is we just feel more confident and safer in this than we do in a regular travel trailer. But anyway, we prefer knowing how everything is built. We prefer knowing where everything is. We prefer knowing how to get to whatever components we need to get to in order to keep something catastrophic from happening. Right. I don't know what else to say about it.
Did we answer all the questions?
Well, let me look here. Well, there's one question there at the end, the insurance thing. Let's go ahead and address that while we're at it. Let me look at it here. Okay, too much to insure. Do we think that RVs are too much to insure? Well, I don't know, because now when we bought insurance for the motorhome, it really wasn't that bad.
Yeah, well, they didn't pay much either.
But to be quite honest with you, and we did a video about that, when it come time to collect, on the settlement, we got flim-flammed on that. Yeah, it was a joke. So insurance, the way we feel about insurance is, if they can screw you over, they're going to screw you over. That's all there is to it.
That's just our personal opinion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But here's what I will say about insuring a cargo trailer conversion. You know, when you go into McDonald's or
any fast food
restaurant for that matter, and you order such and such, like the number one meal deal or number 2 or whatever, but then you want to make changes on your hamburger, or you want to leave some stuff off or add some stuff. Well, most of the time they don't have a button for that, on their cash register. And so then sometimes, you may or may not get what you ordered by the time you get up to the window to pick it up. Well, this is the same problem you have with trying to insure a cargo trailer conversion. You talk to an insurance agent, you tell them what you got and everything, and they look at you like, huh? Because they don't have a button for that. Now, they got a button for RVs.
Right, regular RVs.
Sure,
RVs. They just go in and look it up.
And then you're done. They give you a quote. But when it comes to something like this, they don't have a button for that. And
we have met some people that have had really good agents that figured it all out.
Yeah, figured it all out. But for the most part, no. You're gonna run into issues. But I know we're gonna get lots of comments where people say, "Well, I got mine insured and I didn't have any trouble."
And I'm glad.
And we're happy that you did.
Very grateful.
But we kind of toyed with that and experimented with it at first, and we kept getting some negative responses. And so rather than muddy up the water, when we finally settled on insurance, we simply had it insured as a cargo trailer with improvements and insured it for more money with improvements.
Now, will we get
If we have a loss, we're going to get screwed.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
we're
going to get screwed if we have a loss. It's going to happen. No matter what, doesn't matter. Now, in some states, it's fairly easy to go in and get your cargo conversion registered as an RV. In other states, it's a whole lot more red tape.
Right.
And so it just all depends on where you are, or if you happen to know a guy or not. Well, that always helps if you happen to know, I should say know a person.
A person.
Than a guy. So this is what we did in our case. If we ever have a loss, we'll just have to start over. And we know that. But anyway, I can't be any more honest, more brutally honest than that when it comes to the insurance thing. And we have people ask us about the insurance thing all the time.
Right.
What I would suggest is first see if you can have it registered in your state as an RV. Find out what would be involved in trying to do all that. And then it might be easier for you to go get it insured as an RV. But then there's going to be questions like, for some reason, they have this idea that a regular RV is built better quality and there's going to be less issues of a catastrophic failure with one that's built by a supposed professional company that builds these things. Just go look at all the YouTube videos of them on fire and stuff like that. Anyway.
Trying to control him, people.
Don't even get me started. Okay.
Okay, now I think we answered all the questions.
I think so. Let me double check here one more time before we go. And gotta put my glasses back on.
If you're interested in my paintings, you can go to our website at iridetinyhouseadventures.com and you'll see a little drop down box. Click on that for Deb's art, and that's where my paintings are.
I think we covered everything pretty good.
Okay.
In the questions on this. Y'all take care.
Yes. Have a great holiday.
Yes. And we will see you again soon. This is Bill and Deb with I Ride Tiny House Adventures. And remember, folks, we are not camping.
We are living.
You all get out there and do some living. And like I said a minute ago, we'll see you again soon.
Bye-bye.
Be watching for more walkthrough videos. Bye-bye now.
Bye.